Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Vinyasa Flow class. My name is Dee, and go ahead and take a comfortable seat on your mat, perhaps alleviating your hips with a folded up blanket or towel. Place your legs in any comfortable position and sit up nice and tall on both sits bones, even side to side. Let your spine become a structure that can hold up the rest of the body, the head, and then close down the eyes and begin to watch your breath. Begin to observe the breath entering and leaving the body. See if you can slow the breath down. Nice. Maybe make the breath a little more smooth. And on your next big inhale, sigh the breath out with an open mouth as you ha or ah the breath. And you can take two more of these cleansing breaths, breathing in through the nose and sighing out through the mouth. And then go ahead and begin to breathe with your diaphragm, letting on the inhale, let your body pull in, your lungs rather, pull in the breath. Let it feel like it's filling your navel and abdominal area, moving the navel forward. And then exhale, releasing navel to spine, kind of squeezing the air out. Keep breathing with the belly. And let's also see if we can visualize movement from the navel to the throat with each inhale. And from the throat to the navel, get some energy moving that direction with each exhale. Keep breathing with the belly, softening and then contracting the muscles all around your core. Take two more belly breaths. And then go ahead and set that breath aside. Just let your body ebb and flow. Let your breath come and go. In through the nose and out through the nose as well. If that's comfortable, that is. Finding your own way if your breathing is not comfortable. Let's begin to move our spine in the 7 different ways that our spine moves. And the first one, let's sit up nice and tall once again, really give our all into lengthening the spine without lifting the shoulders. Maybe we'll weight our hands down here by our sides, have our elbows slightly back behind the midline, pressing into both sits bones, reaching up through the crown of the head. Nice. Find that extension. Let's exhale. We'll begin to come into a forward fold here. So just continue to release, maybe walk or slide your hands to the front and keep releasing your chest to the floor. Begin to round your shoulders, tuck your chin, and reach above your head. Take a breath or two here. Then let's inhale. Let's slowly walk Our hands back towards our legs, lifting our torso, keeping a flat back. Release your arms by your side and let's inhale both arms out and up. We'll interlace the last three fingers, leaving the pointer and thumb extended up over the head. Let's inhale. Begin to arch your spine, open your chest, lift your chin, send your thumbs and your fingertip back behind you. One movement, all orchestrating together. Now exhale, bring your spine to neutral. Arms and hands come right up over the head. And let an exhale reach your arms out and down, letting them relax by your side. Nice. Let's continue movements of the spine. We've done 3. Let's inhale our arms out and up. Let's interlace all 5 fingers together. Exhale, release to one side. You choose the side. Make your arms rounded, bent elbows, and open that side body that you're leaning and opening. Inhale to come back up to center. Exhale, releases your hands, the arms gently float to the floor. Let's inhale again. Sun breath, interlace your fingers. Exhale to release to the opposite side. Nice. Inhale to come back up to center. Exhale, releases your arms down by your side. Let's move here into a position where the legs are straight out in front of us. We'll come into staff pose and let's wiggle the toes here for a moment. Just wiggling the toes, bending, straightening, maybe kind of waving at different times. You can wiggle the hands too, the fingers. Let's start to point and flex. Make fists with the hands, open and close them. And then we'll bend up through the right knee. I'll mirror you. And we'll turn our body toward this leg. We're going to reach the opposite hand to bring the elbow right on the inside of that leg. And we can move this leg, adjusting it so that as we send the same arm from the bent knee back behind us, we're twisting, using the lifted knee to help us. So inhale. Lengthen the spine here, press into that straight leg and the bent knee foot, and then exhale, reaching behind you. Let's stay here for 3 breaths. Press through the left heel, straightening the left knee as much as you can. And let's bring our chin to that back shoulder. Let's bring our eyes back behind us. Maybe look up and look down. To the right here. And then exhale to release. Let your torso come around to the front and we'll switch sides by bending up through the left leg, extending the right. This time, the right arm comes just in between the chest and the left knee. We'll send that left arm back behind us. And then we'll inhale to extend the spine, lengthening here. Exhale. Let your chest and that back shoulder release back behind you. Press into that bent elbow. And look with your eyes way over to the left. Look up towards the ceiling on the left and down towards the floor on the left. Bring your eyes back to center now. Bring your chin back to center. And then we'll release the torso. We can bend up through both knees, sway the knees from side to side. All right, 7 movements of the spine are in the past. All right, so let's move into a vinyasa sequence. What we'll do first with our knees bent to the sky is we're going to bring both legs over one direction. Let the knees release so that we're sitting in a pinwheel with both legs leaning over to one side and then feet on the opposite side. We're going to place our hands right in front of us on the floor, and maybe perhaps we'll stay here. While here, press into the hip that's lifting up off the mat. And see if you can walk your chest, head, and neck forward when your hands step forward. And see if you can come all the way down into a forward fold over this leg. Take some deep breaths here. Let the next inhale walk you back up, lifting head, neck, and chest. Hands walk towards the legs, and we'll switch to the other side. This is called the dolphin diving sequence. So make your pinwheel on the opposite side. Sit up nice and tall. And then let your chest, head, and neck tilt forward, keeping the extension of the spine, coming on perhaps forearms, maybe onto blocks, maybe onto a bolster or a bed pillow. And we'll exhale here, sinking down into this pose, this shape. When you're ready, inhale, begin to lift yourself up, pressing down on the hands to lift the head, neck, and chest. And let's bring our legs out of this position, out of this shape, and we'll come into child's pose. Placing a blanket under the knees, perhaps. And let's come into child's pose with the knees hip distance apart. You could come into table first. Sink your your hips down and back. Release your chest forward and have your arms reaching out above your head. This next Vinyasa flow is called cat sequence from child's pose. As you inhale, begin to press and lift your head, neck, and shoulders. You're going to reach your hips up above your knees and bring the arms up above the head. Exhale, come down to table. Inhale, arch the spine in cow. Exhale, round the spine in cat. Inhale, come back up to a high kneel, arms up overhead, palms facing one another. Exhale, sink back down into child's pose. Take a breath here, and we'll do that twice more. On the next inhale, lift up to a high kneel, arms up overhead, hands facing each other. Exhale, release down to table. Inhale, come to cow. Exhale, shift your navel, lifting it into cat. Inhale, arms come back up overhead, high kneel. Exhale, sink back into your child's pose. A breath here. On the next inhale, we'll lift up, high kneel. Exhale, table. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. Inhale, high kneel. Exhale, child's. Take a breath here. This time we'll move from child's into a thread the needle sequence. So let's inhale, we'll lift up, high kneel. The left arm comes up overhead. Exhale, release and thread the needle with the left hand. Bring the right arm down and then release your shoulder, maybe the side of your face to the floor. Inhale, press off that right hand. Lift up with the whole body. Both arms come up overhead, palms facing each other. Exhale, release into child's pose, hand by your heels. Inhale, lift up again to a high kneel. This time just the right arm comes up overhead. Exhale, let the left arm come down. Thread that right hand behind the left wrist. Release your shoulder and head toward the floor. Next inhale lifts both arms. Head, neck, and torso come up to a high kneel. Exhale, release your hands alongside your legs in child's pose. Take a breath here, and we'll do one more on each side. Inhale, lift up to a high kneel. Left arm comes up overhead. Exhale, thread the needle behind the right arm. Inhale, lift back up to high kneel, both arms up overhead. Exhale, relax into child's pose. Inhale, lift the left arm up overhead. Sorry, maybe lift the right arm up overhead. Exhale, that left hand comes down. We'll thread the needle. Right arm reaches over to the left. Inhale, pressing up off the ground. Both arms come up, palms face one another. Exhale, we'll sink into child's pose. Take a breath here. And on your next inhale, lift your head, neck, and chest and come into a low kneel with your hands on your knees. Breathe in. As you exhale, bring your hands behind your head and lift your elbows to the height of your ears. On the next inhale, come up to a high kneel. As you exhale, laterally stretch. One elbow releases towards the floor. The opposite elbow reaches towards the ceiling. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, release laterally to the opposite side. Hips stay right over knees. Inhale to come back to a high kneel. Exhale, hands come back down to knees. Hips release down to heels. Take a breath here. And then let's do this sequence 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, hands come behind head, elbows out. Inhale, high kneel. Exhale, lateral stretch. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lateral stretch to the opposite side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, release back into your low kneel, hands on knees. One more time. Inhale. Inhale, pause motion. Exhale, hands and elbows come up. Inhale, hips lift. Exhale, lateral stretch. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, releases the hips and hands. Inhale, take a deep breath here. All right, next, let's do another little low vinyasa flow. And what we'll do is we'll move from down dog to up dog to child's pose. So as you're ready, come to your table, curl under your toes, lift your hips and knees up and back, and come into downward facing dog. Feel the stretch here as long as you'd like. And as you're ready to release your hips, let them float to the floor, flatten the feet, and use the hands pressing against the floor underneath you, wrists right under shoulders, to come into upward facing dog and to feel strong there. Then exhale to sink the hips back and down to come into child's pose. Take a few breaths here. Let your spine release and relax from both of those movements. But as you're ready, inhale back up to your table, tuck under your toes, lift on an inhale, to downward facing dog. Stretch here as long as you'd like, and then exhale into upward facing dog, taking as many breaths here as you'd like, and then releasing, going through table to child's pose, relaxing the body here, releasing as much as possible. And then taking a breath in, starting again. Lifting up and back, shifting hips forward and down, and then back and release the hips. Take a breath wherever you happen to be, finish your flow, and come back into child's pose. Take a breath there, and then let's all make our way up to standing. So move to standing in whatever way works best for you. And we'll all meet in mountain pose, facing our screen. All right, standing in mountain pose, let's begin a sequence called circling the joints. So let's start with our ankles. Your hands can be anywhere that's comfortable. And we'll shift from side to side. And let's draw circles with the toe to circle our ankles here. You want to think of the big toe driving it, fine, or the little, all the toes, that's fine too. Now, make sure you've done both ankles and you've gone in both directions with your circles. And then we'll plant our feet once again in our mountain, and let's begin to make our hips move in circles. So kind of gauge how far forward, to the side, and back you can go and still maintain your balance. Now, see if you can get your whole torso to make a circle. So it might be slightly different here than just the hips. Think of your navel driving this circular motion. Placing your legs however you need to help you feel secure and stable, maybe using props around you. Now let's circle our shoulders. Let's see if we can get our shoulders to lead the motion. And we'll go in both directions with our shoulder circles. Noticing how focusing on these different parts, how it feels to balance. Now we'll move to wrists. Let's circle the wrists, both directions. Going the opposite way. And then let's circle the elbows. And then moving the elbows the opposite way. And then this time we'll roll the shoulders, circle them around this way, and then back, down, and around the opposite way. And lastly, let's bring our head into a circle. So let's just move the head, keeping the shoulders stationary, the hips stationary, the torso, the knees, the ankles, the wrists, the elbows. And just letting the head circle. being careful with the back of the neck, not looking up too high. Letting your chin drop as low as it can release, going in both directions. All right. Let's now do one more warm up here. Let's stand with our feet somewhat wide, and we'll bring our hands behind our hips and we'll interlace our fingers just like we did earlier in our warm up. We're inhaling, standing in mountain with our feet wide, toes wider than heels. Exhale, we'll release forward folding over the left leg. Inhale, come up to standing. Center your shoulders over your body right and left, stacking over the hips. Exhale, release to the center. Inhale, press up, lifting with a flat back. And then exhale brings you over that right leg. And we'll inhale back up to center, pressing down through both feet to lift the upper body. All right, awesome. So now we've created a lot of heat. Let's do that backwards. So we'll stand in our mountain. Find a length to your spine here by inhaling and letting the crown of the head come a little closer to the ceiling. As you exhale, let's forward fold over the right leg, keeping the hands interlaced behind us. Inhale back to center, standing. Exhale, release forward fold to the center. Inhale, come back up to standing. Exhale, release forward fold over the left leg. Inhale, come up to standing. All right, let's move from there to sun salutations. We'll come up to the top of our mat in our mountain pose. Let's inhale, lifting our arms out and up. Exhale, nose dive, forward fold, bend elbows and knees. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, release, plant your palms and step your left foot back. Inhale, lift up away from the legs, the forward leg, that is. And you can keep your back knee down for a low lunge or come up to a high lunge. Inhale, lifts the arms up overhead. Exhale, lean forward, reach the hands down, plant the palms, come into half plank or plank. Exhale. Inhale, press on the toes. Exhale, release the body towards the floor, flatten the feet. Inhale, hands under shoulders, come up into cobra. Exhale, release. Lying down on the floor, face down, tuck under your toes. Inhale, brings you up into downward facing dog. Let's stretch here for a moment. Leave your left foot, actually leave your right foot where it is. Lift the left foot up on an inhale. Bend the knee, draw it towards your nose as you exhale. Step that foot through. Let your back knee float down. Flatten that foot and come into pigeon on this side instead of our usual low or high lunge. Nice. From pigeon, let's come to table, stepping that left knee back. We'll come back up on an inhale to down dog. We'll step the left foot up first, then the right. Inhale, lifts the arms out and up overhead. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Take a breath here. Inhale, lift the arms up and out. Exhale, nose dive, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. This time we step the right foot back. High lunge or low lunge. Inhale to lift up away from the forward thigh. Let the next inhale lift your hands and arms any amount. Exhale, plants the palms, step the left foot back, coming into plank or half plank. Breathing here, holding strong. Next inhale, lifts the head towards the top of the mat. Exhale, releases the body, slow the descent. Keep the elbows in, flatten the feet. Inhale, come up to cobra. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes, curl the toes under. Lift the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Stretch here and breathe. Inhale, presses down the left foot. Lift the right heel up and back. Exhale, bends that knee, stepping the right foot forward. Let the left knee come down. The foot flattens, and then move that right foot to come into your pigeon here. Take a breath, and then shift back up into your table. Curl the toes under, come up into downward facing dog. Step the right foot forward, then the left. Press down through both feet. Inhale, lifting up through the torso. Arms come up overhead. Exhale, hands come to your heart. Let's repeat that once more on each side. And this time as we come into pigeon, we'll also take a breath or two in king pigeon. So as you're ready, inhale the arms up or out and up. Exhale, nose dive, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, release again over the legs. Plant the hands. Step the left foot back. Come into a low lunge or a high lunge. Inhaling to lift the upper body away from the lower. Next inhale sends the arms up. Exhale to release. Let the head, neck, and chest float forward. Plant your palms. Come into plank or half plank. Strong in the core. Arms strong. Inhale, lifting the head towards the top of the mat. Exhale, slowly release to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release, tuck the toes. Inhale, come up into downward facing dog again. Press into the left foot. No, that's right. No. Press into the right foot. My bad. Inhale, the left heel and foot comes up and back. Bend the knee, step that foot forward, and we'll make this into pigeon on the left side. Left knee forward. We're sinking that back foot down. The back knee sinks down. We'll flatten the back foot, and we can reach back and grab maybe a pant leg or our ankle, maybe the foot or a toe. We'll release that leg, foot floats down to the mat. We're pressing on our hands to step that left knee back, coming back up into our downward dog. Left foot comes forward first, then right. Inhale, lifting up to a standing position. Exhale, hands release to the heart. Take a breath or two here, and we'll move to the opposite side. Last one. Inhale, sun breath. Exhale, nose dive, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, release. Step the right foot back this time. Inhale, lift up away from that left thigh. Next inhale, you can lift your arms any height. Exhale, releases, hands float down. Plant the palms, step the left foot back, coming into plank or half plank. Take a breath or two here. Feel the strength your body's building in these classes. Inhale, moving the head forward. Exhale, slow your descent. Lower your body. Inhale up to cobra. Exhale to release, curl under the toes. Inhale up and back into downward dog. This time, left foot stays there. Inhale the right leg and heel up and back. Exhale, draws that knee forward. And we'll sink into pigeon with the right knee forward. Left leg scooching back and down behind you. Perhaps bending that knee, reaching back behind you for your king pigeon. Holding here, breathing, releasing, centering your body again, pressing to come up through table, back up and back into downward dog, stepping the right foot forward, then the left. Inhale, come up to standing, both arms reach up overhead, and exhale, hands come to the heart. Take a breath here. Let your spine relax by doing a few twists, side to side. Picking up the opposite heel, letting the body twist and release a little more. Let's move in to our cool down. We'll come to the top of our mat. This time, we'll step our right foot back, coming into high lunge, left foot forward. Chest is already up away from the thigh. Let's inhale the arms up. And then release the hands on the next exhale. Step that back foot forward. Let's switch to the opposite side. Left foot now goes back, left heel's lifted. Feel like the bounce here without hurting your knee and drawing it too far forward by having it come in front of the ankle. You want it to stay back behind the ankle. Inhale to lift the arms. Find your expansion here, as well as your grounding. You're rooted to the mat here. Exhale to release the hands. Step that back foot up. Shake out both legs. Let's inhale a sun breath. Exhale, nose dive forward fold. Plant the hands and let's step each foot back. If you work better walking your hands forward, do that. Come into downward facing dog. And let's walk the dog here. A few times, stretching through the legs. Maybe curling the toes over and stretching the top of the foot towards the floor. And let's float the knees down, coming into table. And the table here, I'm going to place my blanket back under my knees. Let's come into cat-cows. Let's undulate the spine a couple more times. As you're ready, fixing and finding your foundation first, and then lifting and lowering the navel as you arch, and then curl the spine. Let's bring our spine and pelvis to neutral. And let's come all the way down onto the floor. Finding our supine position. And let's take a full body stretch, lengthening through each leg, drawing our arms first by our side, then inhaling the arms lift up, reach back behind. And see if you can stretch your arms and your legs, point and flex your feet, reach your fingertips towards the wall, back behind you. And on the next exhale, bring your arms up towards the ceiling and then down by your sides. And let's walk both feet up onto the mat. Let's bring both knees into the chest, one at a time or both of them together. We're going to hold onto our legs and wrap our arms around, drawing the legs in towards the body. Take a few breaths. On the next exhale, release your feet to the floor. And we're going to begin windshield wipering the knees from side to side. You can slow this down as much as you want. The idea is you've just really worked your body hard, you worked your core hard in some of those lower vinyasa flows, and then with all the up and down of sun salutations. We'll take it easy and rock the knees from side to side for a moment. See if you can release your head and chin to the opposite side of the knees. And then the next time the knees are up over the hips and feet, let's draw both knees into the chest again, rounding out the spine. We'll let the next inhale lift the head, neck, and chest. And we're going to hold this position, staring kind of at our knees, nose to knees, maybe looking at our feet or the wall beyond us. Whatever is comfortable, using the core, the abdominal muscles to hold us up here, and releasing on the next exhale the head, neck, and chest, but keeping the knees in towards the body. We're going to roll these knees and legs over to the left side as we inhale and stretch both arms out wide like wings. Let's rotate our wrists so that our palms face down, and let's really root that right shoulder to the floor. Looking left, take a few breaths here. Your next inhale, we'll move our chin back to center with our core abdominal strength. Use the tightness in your belly to lift your legs up and over. Support yourself with your hands if you need to. Release your legs. Try to use that core to hold the knees toward you as you lower them gently to the opposite side. Legs stack. The left shoulder this time is rooted to the floor. We might turn our chin left and look over that hand, cross the room, and take a few breaths here. On the next inhale, lift your chin back to center first, then engage the core muscles in your trunk and abdomen and move the knees back up over the body. From here, let's cross the right leg over the left. We're going to reach our hands to each knee and kind of walk or slide the hands down the shin bone and maybe grab on a hold of the legs at the ankles or maybe by the feet, and draw the heels in toward you for a nice stretch here. Couple breaths. Stacking knees and thighs, shoestring position here. A lot like that pigeon pose and king pigeon pose. So helping the body cool down here. And now let's release the legs. We'll uncross the right leg from on top of the left and we'll switch our shoestring to the opposite side. Hands reach towards the legs. They'll slide down the shin bone, holding on wherever you can here and drawing the feet in towards the body. Taking a few breaths, feeling the stretch. Let's release from our shoestring and we'll lift both feet towards the sky. And let's flex and point the toes, wiggle the toes, maybe windshield wiper the feet left and right. Maybe draw circles with the toes, do figure eights with the feet, rolling the ankles. Supporting the legs with the hands, maybe bending the knees a little more if you need to. And then we'll let the feet float down to the mat, knees bent towards the sky. Inhale, the right foot lifts up off the mat. It floats up towards the ceiling. On the next exhale, come into figure four by turning that right knee out to the side. Let's press through the heel of the right foot. And let's draw the thigh away from us by pushing it with our hand. From here, we can stay pushing this away, maybe applying consistent pressure, or we can lift our left foot, interlace our hands behind the right leg, behind the left thigh, our elbows pressing that right leg away. And I like to rock from side to side here while I'm stretching in figure four. Take two more breaths here. And then as you're ready, release that left leg, uncross the right foot, and let's windshield wiper both knees side to side. Next time your knees are up over your feet and hips, let's lift just the left foot towards the ceiling. Straightening and lengthening that leg, turning that knee out, coming into figure four on this side, and pressing the thigh away from us. Maybe letting this motion pulse or keeping that motion consistent. Perhaps deepening the stretch, reaching and interlacing the hands behind the right thigh, pulling the legs in. I like to use my left elbow to keep that left thigh and knee away as I'm trying to bring the right knee in. The right thigh draws towards me. And we can rock from side to side here. And as you're ready, come back to center and release your legs, your hands. Let the feet float down to the mat, knees still bent to the sky. And from here, let's move into student choice. Pick a yoga posture or pose that you can do from this position. Maybe you come into reclining tree pose, reclining butterfly. Then reclining tree on the opposite side. Maybe you're doing something with a wide angle, feet towards the ceiling. Maybe you're taking a full body stretch and then doing banana asana side to side. Maybe happy baby is what your body's calling you to do. Lose yourself in your body's last requests for shapes, stretches. And then, as you're ready, sink yourself once again into your final Shavasana shape. Maybe your knees are bent towards the sky uh, and your feet are out wide and your legs are holding each other up, or maybe your knees are straight, turning the feet maybe out to the side. Begin to take some deeper breaths if you haven't already. Bring your awareness to the soles of your feet. See if you can help the tissues there release and relax. Feel the left and right side of each foot softening. And feel the tops of your feet melting. Feel the heaviness of the ankles and the heels. Bringing your awareness to your lower legs, letting the calves and shins release and relax. Softening the knees. Letting the thighs and hamstrings just kind of melt the tension away. Rooted and grounded through the hips. Heavy on the floor. Moving with your awareness up the spine, relaxing and releasing these tissues. Feeling the weight of the shoulders and the rib cage pressing into the floor, into the earth. Feeling the weight of the whole upper body. Softening in the arms, biceps, triceps, elbows relaxed, forearms melting into the floor, wrists and hands heavy, back of the head pressing into the floor too. Letting the whole body relax here. Focusing on sensations happening in the body, perhaps, maybe focusing just on the movement of the breath and coming back to your awareness of the breath as many times as your mind carries you away. No judgment, no criticism, Take 5 more breaths here. And now let's slowly begin to rock the head from side to side. Let's begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes too. We'll bring our head back to center. Let's make our way over onto one side, stacking hips and shoulders, and then pressing ourselves up away from the floor, coming up into a seated position, sitting up nice and tall on the sits bones. Elevated hips, perhaps legs in any comfortable position. Let's take 3 sun breaths here, just sort of waking ourselves up a little more for the rest of our day. With inhale, the arms can come up, hands come up, exhale. Let's release the arms by our side. If you want to lift and lower the chin a little as you breathe in, kind of gathering up all the energy and then releasing it. This third time, let's bring our hands together. We'll exhale our hands to our heart, closing down our eyes, releasing our chin towards our chest as we bow here to the divine that's inside of all of us. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Let your next exhale be deep and release. And then we'll inhale, lifting our chin back up to neutral. Let's flutter open our eyes. Release your hands. Thank you all so much for joining me in practice today, either live or online. Have a great afternoon, and I'll see you next time. Take care.